make more money today than we did 10 years ago. Most of us would have to say that. I know that's the case in my life. 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We're making more than we ever have before, and yet we still feel the same amount or maybe even more financial pressure than we ever did before. And don't we usually think, when I think about the pressure that I feel, this is my thought process. If I had just X amount more, if I had just a little bit more in my life, then everything would be okay. But as I began to prepare and as God began to build me, he said, well, Jonathan, that's just absolutely not true. That's a myth. Because you have more than what you used to make. You're making more today than you did before, and yet you still feel the same financial pressure. And the reason for that is we have our income here, and our lifestyle bumps right up against that income. As we got a better job, or as we got a raise in our salary, we immediately had our lifestyle come up to meet that. And so instead of our income going up, our lifestyle staying right where it was at, the moment income goes up, lifestyle comes up to meet it. And the moment income goes up, lifestyle bumps up to meet it. And we keep going up and up and up. And so there's no margin in our lives. And so, why do we have more than what we need? Because if we were really honest with each other, we could say, and this is true for about 95% of us in the room. There are definitely exceptions to this. But for the majority of us, if we ratcheted back our lifestyle in a few areas, we would be able to do fine financially, and we would have some margin. We would have more than what we need, especially when we think about things in terms of the global view. The average world salary, the average salary of someone, a household in the world, is $5,000 annually. Okay, that's the average salary. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to the room to make you feel guilty and us, Americans, we're so spoiled and rich, which we are, but that's not what I'm talking about today. But why do we have more than what we need? And there's a reason that I never asked myself that question. There's a reason why you probably never asked yourself that question. And it's because we live in a culture that asks a very different question. We live in a culture that does not say, why do I have so much? We live in a culture that says, why don't I have what I need? Why don't I have more? I mean, the entire advertising industry is built around that principle, right? They show you the coolest, newest, slickest, whatever. And I got to be honest, I am, real successful with that, just like anybody else. And how is it that when it comes to making a financial decision on giving, to whether it's to a church organization, to a mission thing, or whether it's just giving to a non-profit cause, how is it that we have this whole long thought out process about, well, we really have the money to give this, and how much can we give, and let's sit down and think about it. But then when it comes to refinancing to get a different car, or to get that new iPod or whatever, we have no problem juggling things around in a matter of hours and finding a way to finance that purchase, or finding a way to get into this thing. And that isn't that the root of kind of the crisis we're facing right now as a nation and really across the globe, is we have become so used to having everything and having so much that we've become undisciplined in how we manage money as a nation, as a financial institution, as financial markets. And now we're sitting in this bind because of the result of this attitude, this way that the world thinks. And it's not, our problem in America is not that we don't have enough money, that there are not enough jobs to make this come. The worst problem is that we have all. I'm speaking in generalizations. Please don't send an email and say, well, I'm in a good mortgage and I pay all the time. Okay? I'm thinking generalizations here. But in general, as a society, we've become very undisciplined in how we handle our finances. And here's the catching point for you if you're a believer, if you're a follower of Christ. The deal is, you can't really and completely devote yourself, your life to God, if you don't have this area of personal finance brought under the way that God sees your personal finances, your resources, because it handicaps what you're able to do. It handicaps how you're able to manage what God has given you. And most of us in this room have experienced a time, or maybe you're going through a time like this right now, and it's what brought you here today. Most of us have experienced a time where we were in a legitimate financial crisis. The question was not, why don't I have all the things that I want and need? But we really did not have everything we needed. We got laid off from a job, or there was an unexpected pregnancy. I didn't know about that one. And you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay for all those things, or whatever the case may be. Maybe a medical crisis came up, and all these things are piling up, and you feel like it's spiraling out of control. All of us can probably identify with one of those times. And if you believe in God or in some kind of higher source of being, all of us during that time of crisis asked this question in one form or another to whoever it is that was out there. And we said, why don't I have what I need? Or why is this happening to me? And man, I tell you what, when it comes to my life, I know you're probably more spiritual than I am. But in my life, when I have financial crisis, man, my prayer life is like off the chain. I'm once praying full. I have no problem finding time. I have no problem setting aside time to talk to God, because I am in the middle of crisis. And we ask this question, why don't I have what I need? And so this morning, I want us to take that same idea and flip it around. Because I don't know about you, but I've never, when things are going good, sat back and said, wow, God, why do I have so much? Why do I have more than what I need? Why do I have extra? And I will tell you that the definition of someone who is rich is someone who has more than what they need. They have extra. They're not worrying about where to find their next meal. They're not worrying about the basic necessities, but they have more than what they need. And so what if we turn around and we ask the question, why do I have so much? And if you would be willing to really take this question, why do I have extra? Why do I have more than what I need? And if you would be honest with yourself and really look at what you need. And see, we have this in our culture, along with this idea of always asking, why don't I have more? It builds in this false sense of need. Because isn't it true that if you get the house that you really, really want, then you need the money to pay for the mortgage on that house, right? Or if you get the car, the lease, whatever it is that you're doing, then you really do need that money. And so we build up this with this escalating lifestyle. It creates to us it's a very real need, but it's something that we created, isn't it? Because I don't know how it happened, but I used to live off less money. I did. With both of the kids that I have right now. And somehow, I still don't have any extra. Anyone feel that way this morning? And so, what if we turn this around and really took this question and processed it and wrestled it to the ground? Because I believe that if we will take this question and we will be honest with ourselves and honest with God, and we will wrestle this thing to the ground, we will discover that answering that question in our lives might be the key to revolutionizing the entire way that we look at our personal finances and our resources. It may be the thing that turns us around and gets us heading when we feel positive about where our finances are for maybe the first time ever. Or maybe we feel like we're finally heading in the right direction. If we will take this question, and this is important, just hang with me here. If we will take this question, why do I have more than I need? And really wrestle that to the ground, it would change the way we look at everything. And so this morning, if you've got your Bible,